Well, we're here again today with famed trends forecaster Gerald Celente. And Gerald, in your latest Trends Forecast Journal, you were predicting even before the Nevada debate that Bernie Sanders has a shot at the White House. Following that debate and his performance and the ill performance of others, including Michael Bloomberg, do you find Sanders' shot at the White House increasingly likely now?
Oh, it's about the same in the sense that the competition, he just doesn't have it right now. It's not going to be Warren. It's certainly not going to be Bloomberg. And Buttigieg, I don't think is going to make it. So it still looks like Sanders. And the reason we changed our forecast, and again, we're still saying Trump 2020, but Sanders has a shot. And the reason being is that what's going on in Ireland, what just happened with the election over there, what's going on around the world in other countries, people are voting out the establishment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason Trump came in the first place. People considered him anti-establishment. Remember, he was going to drain the swamp. And like most pathological liars who run for office, he filled the swamp with more of the same swamp creatures. But the people bought the line. And they're doing the same thing with Sanders. The millennials, the younger generations, they have no future. You know, when we were young guys, when the polls used to come out, it always used to be the future was going to be brighter than the past.
Right.
And now it's let's make America great again.
Yeah.
It's going back to the past. So the future is very dim for the younger people, and there are more of them than there are older people that support Trump. So
Okay.
going back to what just happened in Ireland, Sinn Féin won out of nowhere. And it was the young people that brought him in. And the reasons were healthcare, rents, non-affordable housing, and homelessness, and no job opportunities and low wages. It's
All
the
right, but
same thing in America.
you also say that he'll be able to make it in the swing states, swing them his way. But Gerald, I live in Pennsylvania, one of the swing states that Trump barely won. And here, you know, they wave the flag, you know, they're on board with all the usual rhetoric about America. And, you know, they tend to be the working class people who support Trump tend to be anti-welfare, anti-socialism, and on board with a strong military. So how would he swing enough votes in the swing states, including my state of Pennsylvania, to make it to the White House?
Well, the latest polls just came out, and Bernie Sanders is winning in Pennsylvania against Trump. And he's winning in Michigan, and he's losing in Wisconsin. So if Trump wins Wisconsin, then that's an important one. But it's still early yet, and a lot could change by then. And also Ohio. So again, it's the numbers of the younger people. If the younger people get out in bigger numbers, they could defeat Trump. And that's what we're saying. For the same reasons it's happening around the world. They have no opportunity. The jobs stink. Again, you saw the job numbers that just came out. Where were the jobs?
Right.
In hospitality, in healthcare, in warehousing. You know, these don't pay living wages. Well, they just came out. A third of the people living paycheck to paycheck. So it's what happened in the 1992 election with Clinton. The campaign slogan within the team was, "It's the economy, stupid."
Right.
And the economy's not growing. I mean, Trump brags about how great it's growing. It's not. You know, it's growing at the same slow pace it has since the end of the Great Recession. And now with the coronavirus, you know, we're looking at maybe 2% growth rate. And so it's not trickling down.
But don't you think that he's going to be damaged by the constant assault on Sanders, labeling him as a socialist, a communist, practically a bomb-throwing Bolshevik? Isn't some of that going to stick?
Yes, and for the people that'll vote for Trump. But again, the other ones are saying, you know, the system stinks. I want the new one. And that's what I'm trying to say is that's what's going on around the world. They're throwing out the established parties. That's the reason Trump got in. And so again, and by the way, that BS about socialists, How about socialism when the low-life, slimy politicians bail out the too big to fail banks? Oh, that's okay. That kind of, quote, socialism is okay. It's not capitalism. In capitalism, there's no such thing as too big to fail. How about socialism when they bail out all these different companies, the auto companies and others that they funneled in, trillions of dollars into? So the hypocrisy is really in the language, not in the deeds, not in the language.
But are enough people becoming aware of that hypocrisy, that it's all baloney, that the jobs, that they're Walmart jobs, stocking shelves, as you often say, and the economy really isn't cooking the way he says it, with the way Trump constantly bolsters it? But are enough people aware that that's all an inflation of reality?
Yes, because they can't afford to live. They're still living with mommy and daddy. They can't move out of their homes. They have no money. So the language isn't going to affect them. The pocketbook is. Again, it's the economy, stupid, as they said back in the Clinton days. So we'll have to see where the economy is by October. And if it's going down, if the people are desperate, Trump is out because he's not that popular.
Where do you think it'll be by October?
I think it's going to decline quite rapidly. The Federal Reserve just came out yesterday, two of their presidents in different banks, and said that they were not going to lower interest rates this year. I believe they're going to lower interest rates. They're going to do everything they can to prop up the economy. Mm-hmm. So if they keep lowering interest rates, artificially prop up the economy, that's going to be a positive for Trump. So what we're saying now is Sanders has an outside shot. And again, will he be derailed by the Democratic Party? Because already you saw during the debate when it's not going to make a difference who gets the most delegates. If they don't have the majority required, then it goes to the convention. If it goes to the convention, then Sanders will probably lose because it's run by the Clinton gang and the others, the Obama gang.
Plus the super delegates.
Exactly.
Again.
Super delegates, right? What a bunch of crap.
What about the Bloomberg factor?
Well, the way he got bombed out, I don't think he's going anywhere. I mean, he's just an arrogant guy with a track record that, doesn't really help him very much, particularly with stop and frisk. And Warren, she's so funny. My God, she reminds me of my 10th grade English teacher. Her raising her hand, damn me, call on me, call on me. I mean, what a freak show! Holy Christ! I mean, it's like who would I'm not voting for any of them.
But it was a good opening shot by Warren when she started talking about all the disrespect of women, and then she says, "Well, I'm not talking about Trump. I'm talking about Bloomberg." That set the tone, I think.
I know.
And Bloomberg never fully recovered from that for the rest of the debate.
No. And he's an arrogant guy. He doesn't appeal to the people. And again, he won because of his money. That's why he won in New York. He outspent everybody. And that's what again, he's spent now, the latest numbers of $400 million over, almost $500 billion. I mean, again, going back to what the people want, but that's unimaginable for most people. So Bloomberg doesn't have a shot. Warren doesn't have a shot. Sanders has a shot. The younger people are going to go out for him. And if he gets the bigger numbers, he's going to get in.
Of course, the young people usually do not vote in the numbers as older people do.
Yes, that's true. But when you have nothing left to lose and you're losing it, that may bring you to the polls. And again, this is too early because there's also the Bloomberg health issue, the Sanders health issue.
Mm-hmm.
He refuses to put out his medical reports, and these aren't young cats, So anything could happen between now and then.
Is there an argument to be made that Bloomberg did a good job as New York City mayor?
Nah, what good job? I mean, the economy was going up. It's Wall Street, a lot of dough going in there, and a lot of foreign money. So yeah, what kind of job did he do? He didn't. I don't think people look at him as, wow, what a great mayor. I'm sorry he's gone.
Well, he touts his management expertise, saying that the presidency really is a management job, and Trump is certainly not a good manager. Is there any logic to that argument that Bloomberg puts forward?
Again, in what you had said before about what people are concerned about, do you think most people care about that?
Hmm.
Nobody cares.
So, what do you think then, now, heading towards the election? Well, let me ask you this before we wrap this up for this segment. If Sanders does get elected, will he put forth a quote socialist agenda, and will that spin America in a new direction, a destructive direction, or a positive direction? What will happen if Sanders becomes president?
Nothing. The same, all he is the leader of the gang. And the same gangs are in charge. As I call them, the Democrats and the Repulsivekins. Nothing will change. A little bit here, a little bit there, nothing major. Matter of fact, in the New York Times article, Sanders said that he would preemptively strike North Korea and Iran.
Did he?
Yeah. And if they, tested nuclear weapons or anything, he'd preemptively strike. So no, he's just a BS artist. And that's all he's ever done. He's another guy that's never worked a day in his life, been sucking off the public tit and just coming out with the lines that people want to hear. Again, this anti-war stuff. He voted for the Afghan war. He voted against the resolution that would have forced Congress to vote to go to war, and gave him, when I say voted for the Afghan war, giving the president the power to do so. He supported Bill Clinton's murderous sanctions put on Iraq. And there's that video that anybody could go to with Madeleine Albright, who was then UN ambassador, talking to Leslie Stahl on 60 Minutes, and Leslie Stahl asking Madeleine Albright, is the price of 500,000 Iraqi children under the age of 5 dead because of the sanctions worth it? And that arrogant Albright, or not all that bright, said, yes, it is. And low-life Sanders voted for this. He voted for a number of defense budgets. He's just full of baloney like the rest of them.
He did vote against the Iraq war, though.
Yeah, that's it. I voted against the Iraq war. But how about all the other stuff you voted for? How about all the other murder you voted for? Oh, that doesn't count. I voted against the Iraq war. Shove it, Bernie. Don't want to hear it. Heard enough.
So also, Gerald, if he does make it to the White House, a lot of his programs, if he sticks with them, will be blocked by Congress, will they not?
That's what I'm saying. It's not going to make any difference. It's the same gangs in charge. He doesn't care. Eisenhower had a quote. Anyone that seeks the office is either an egomaniac or crazy. What human being would waste their damn time spending a year in Iowa, campaigning everywhere, over and over and over and over again? Vote for me, vote for me. I'm a crazy bastard or a bitch. I gotta be equal. I want power. I want power.
All right. If Trump is reelected, what happens to the country? Are we in for an even worse 4 years? What's your projection about that?
Oh, yeah, the divided nation of America, the divided states of America, not United States. It'll be, no, and he'll be more of his doing what he wants to do to enrich the very rich. Look at the pardons he just gave to the billionaires. Any one of us, we're driving, we get in of our signal light on, the cops pull us over. If it's night, where were you? How many drinks did you have? Stand on your head, repeat the alphabet backwards. Yeah, just us. You just saw what Trump did. Gives the billionaires the breaks. That's all he's interested in, making more money and more power. And so it's just going to be more of that, more of the money funneling to the top. What do we got? 3 people in America, Gates, Bezos, and Buffett, that have more money than half the American population.
Are you still predicting the greatest depression, I think you said, in 2021?
Yes, absolutely. And you're seeing it with the equity markets and how they're evolving and devolving. And look at gold prices. Again, go back to your Trends Journal, June 6, 2019. The gold bull run has begun. Gold was $300 less than it is today. Why is gold going up? Because the central banksters are pumping in cheap money to artificially inflate the equity markets and the economies. And it's not working.
This is a kind of tangent, but a lot of people are very, very enthusiastic about Tesla stock, investing in it because that's the wave of the future, and Tesla has a corner on that emerging market. What's your reading on that?
I don't believe, again, I don't give financial advice. The electric cars, there's more talk than reality. When you look at the percentage of electric cars that are bought, China is one of the biggest electric car countries. They're giving people a lot of tax breaks and incentives to buy them. Last year, electric cars accounted for the grand total of 3% of Chinese auto sales, and they have the most auto sales in the world. It's an antiquated system right now that we need a new system. The battery was invented in 1800.
Right.
It's an improvement on an 1800 technology. Until there's a new technology, we don't see electric taking a big market share.
What Tesla is saying is that he has a very vastly improved battery technology, and that will make them practical.
Well, not yet. Again, look what happened when you get frigid weather. These things, their efficiency falls by what, about 70, 80%. So no, it's more talk than action as we see it. We don't see it going in that direction yet until, again, just like we said years ago, where everybody was talking about driverless cars. And we said driverless cliff. These things are going nowhere. It's more hype than reality. So again, when you look at the numbers aren't there. Is it the future? Possibly, but not with the technology that we have.
All right, Gerald, you've often said that the only real workable, survivable, sustainable alternative is a movement like you yourself are espousing, Occupy Peace.
Well, yes, because again, going back to Trump. Again, I can't stand these guys, like, I got out of the Vietnam War for a bone spur. I tried to get out of the Vietnam War for a bone spur. It didn't work. My daddy couldn't pay off the doctor, And now what do? We have bigger defense budget than we've ever had. And they keep getting bigger. And he keeps talking about keeping increasing it. So rather than that money going to the military-industrial complex, if it went into we the people of the United States, it would be a whole different deal. Look at the money they've spent already in the murderous wars based on lies. Depending on whose numbers you're looking at, since 2001, over $7 trillion. And what has it brought? Oh, it brought a lot of money to Lockheed Martin and North and all the other ones, that have Halliburton and all the other ones that have benefited from it, the military-industrial complex. But again, the money has to go into rebuilding the infrastructure, creating manufacturing facilities on more efficient ways, putting money. You want to talk about new energy. Yeah, how about putting money into new energy plants? If you could put all that money in to invent an atomic bomb, you think you could put the money in to get a real sustainable, clean energy that won't cost us anything? Oh, but that would hurt the big companies, so let's not do that.
So are you on board with the necessity to do something about climate change, that climate change is real, it is severe, and it is will soon be destructive to the planet? And are you on board with the new Green Deal sort of proposals being set forth by Sanders and others?
No, I'm not. They're killing us now in the food, with the crap that they're putting in our food. Count the poisons. Could you count that to the thousands? The poison that they're putting in the water, in the air, in the earth. Climate change will be dead before the climate changes. So to me, climate change is an issue that takes it away from the identifiable issues that are not being dealt with. It's making it too big without dealing with the specifics. You like those GMOs? You keep getting vaccinated? Hey, who the hell are you to say you shouldn't get vaccinated? Don't you know that I work for the pharmaceutical industry and we have tests that we did and put up phony programs to say that it's okay. So they're killing us in so many different ways. To me, climate change is too diversionary and missing the important issues at the moment.
Put that aside for a minute now. Would, despite what you say, would the economy improve vastly, as Sanders and others are saying, because attacking climate change and getting away from fossil fuels would create an immense amount of new jobs?
Again, getting away from fossil fuels, how about putting the money into new development is what I'm saying. Rather than spending the money on more sophisticated weapons to kill people, you put that money into new technology for clean energy. So rather than going to the whole climate change thing and making it a whole big deal, no, let's do a specific, as I said, one specific after another. And let's start with taking the poison out of the food that I eat and the water that I drink. You can't drink the damn water. Oh, how about, you're talking about you're from Pennsylvania, go out around near Philadelphia. How about all that poison water from the foam that they spray on all that when they do those military drills at the Air Force, all the military bases around on the plains that now is seeped into the water supply? How about the fracking? Oh, we can't tell you what chemicals we're putting in there. Who the hell are you to ask us what chemicals we're putting in there? Don't you know if you ask us what chemicals we're pumping in by the millions of the gallons, oh, that will hurt our priority on fracking. You don't frack you. You know, so again, we have to address, as I see it, the issues that are right in front of us rather than, I'm against climate change, over climate change. I want specifics.
This new technology that you're talking about, the application of it, would that create massive numbers of new jobs?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, you know, when they have refrigeration, did it get rid of the Iceman? You get new jobs that are created from new technology.
Mm-hmm. Before we close, Gerald, do you want to tell us something more about your push for Occupy Peace?
Yes, we have to stop these foreign entanglements. And look what just happened. What a disgrace. What a disgusting disgrace when Trump brought in Juan Guaido, the self-declared El Presidente of Venezuela, to our House of Representatives at the State of the Union address, and every slimy little lowlife Republican and Democrat, just about all of them, stand up and gave him a rousing applause for regime change right in front of everybody's eyes. I don't like that guy Maduro. I want him out of there. Just like the Nobel Peace of Crap Prize winner Obama. I don't like that guy Gaddafi. I want him out of there. I want that guy Assad out of there. I want to kill the people in that place in El Paso, in that bar, because I don't like them, or the ones in Dayton, Ohio. What's the difference? They're murderers. And everybody applauds. So Occupy Peace is mind your own damn business. Fix your problems at home. Close the bases overseas. Secure the homeland. Put the troops to work to rebuild our rotted infrastructure and give them skills. Over 22 veterans are committing suicide a day. A day. Because of what they're putting them through in Iraq and Afghanistan, these other countries. Now we give them skills, and the construction industry really needs them. Force Congress to vote to go to war, which they have not done since World War II, against the Constitution, Article 1, Clause 8. And finally, put a referendum on each state ballot. You want to go to war? We the people will vote, because we're the ones that pay for it with our money and our lives. So you could go to occupypeace.com, and if you want to support it, do what you like.
Gerald Celente, famed Trends Forecaster, has been right on the button over a number of years on a number of issues. Thanks once again for being with us.
And thank you.